because we are helped. There is an agency that enables us because we are laden with so much infirmity that is so bogus. And sometimes when God speaks, his utterance has the way that it makes us dread. So he said, be not afraid. I know what I'm speaking is too hard for you, oh young child. Then he did the ordination. He took his hand, according to scripture, the Bible says he put it upon his mouth, and suddenly the word of the Lord was captured, and now utterance. Now the baby can be able to utter word. That was when he became a prophet. So I don't know which prophetic school he went to. His case may not be the case of Saul that find himself among the company of prophets. No, this one, when he came out, from that very moment he began to prophesy, and that was why they tried to silence him. Jeremiah was one of the hardest prophets, the prophet of lamentation. He was the prophet that never spoke for the people at all. He was a prophet that you will never want to meet because he's a man acquainted with grief and sorrow. He was one of the accurate prophets I've ever known in time. Prophet I never liked. I don't know the kind of prophet you are that are celebrated by everybody. No, every prophet was killed. Every, in a very worse way. So Jeremiah can be in the dungeon and he cry. You say, oh God, I may be in a dungeon right now, but I beg of you, hide not thy ear from my breathing. I know that before I was born, you have been communicating with me. I may find myself in a low dungeon right now. In the book of Lamentation, he cried. How much more they capture him several times, and they lock him and they beat him. They try to kill him several times. They cannot kill him because he knows that there was a communication going on. According to the definition of his calling, it was predestined, and because they didn't call him, they cannot uncall him. How can you silence a man you have not sent? How? If you are the one that sent me, you silence me. If God sent me, you can't. You are too small. Say, before you were born, before you were conceived, before you were formed, I have called you and I have ordained you, and I have put my word upon your mouth, and this is what you are going to go and do. If you realize, even the prophecy about the entire captivity of Israel came from Jeremiah. Daniel, you see all these other prophets, you know, Jeremiah is a major prophet in the scripture. Even them, Daniel had to align to the prophecy. You see, when Daniel took out time praying and fasting for those 21 days, all what he was trying to have was an understanding to what Jeremiah wrote. Because Jeremiah was one of those prophets that traveled into hollow antiquity, and he was able to capture the totality of the blueprint of what defined the entirety of the tribe of Israel. And he was able to see, according to the definition of God, what is their individual operation according to the times and the seasons apportioned unto them. And anybody that read the writing of Jeremiah find himself in it. And so he was a man that have written all kinds of things, and he has documented everything for kings and for the nations, and every time they read the writing of Jeremiah, they see where they are according to prophecy. Your calling is predestined upon an ordination. You cannot understand your calling until you understand your ordination. Your calling is upon the ordination, and you don't choose it, it chooses you. That calling is beyond you, but you can choose to reject it, or you can choose to walk in alignment with it. Your ordination in God is the definition of the calling, while the ordinances of God upon your life is written before time began. Because what we call the ordination of God is the ordinances of God encoded about your life. Those communications that only the baby, you know, if Jeremiah did not write this, we are not going to know what him and the Lord discussed in this mother womb. Is that not true? Mary said, the baby in my womb leap. Is it Elizabeth? Elizabeth said so. The baby in my womb leap, but the baby was not leaping, the baby was talking. She cannot interpret what the baby was saying, so she said it leaped. Because according to scripture, Jeremiah was in his mother's womb. We don't know, the mother may not even know, but there was a communication. So because he wrote it, we now saw what was being communicated. Are you with me? So the ordinances is actually the encodement of the speakings of God that is defined and captured and is made to be an ordination. And that ordination is what now defines your calling. When you go to the book of Matthew chapter 3:16, the Bible says, and Jesus When he was baptized, went up straight out of the water, and lo, the heavens were opened unto him, and he saw the Spirit of the Lord descending like a dove and lightning upon him. And lo, a voice from heaven saying, this is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. That was the process of justification. He was called, he knew he was called, he knew he was called.